Whoops. Okay, we are live. Sorry for letting you wait. I was hearing myself, so I was a bit late today. Yeah, so
Dude, it's to you. That's a beautiful intro.
yeah. um, yeah, I was confused because I was listening to the audio of the live stream, but I thought this was my OBS, so I was a bit confused. Yeah, so welcome everyone to episode number 3 of our street critique show. Sorry for the delay again. Again, we had technical difficulties, and that has to do because we tried to use Discord, because some of you were suggesting to us that we use Discord, but it's confusing, man. I need more time, and yeah, I don't know. We have to look into it, and I don't know how to use Discord together with OBS, so that was the main problem. So yeah, we are on Skype again. What's up, Jason? Can you hear me?
I'm here. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining the live stream. Yeah, we had some issues with Discord, but maybe the next one, maybe somebody in this chat room could make a YouTube video with a tutorial showing us how to,
Yeah,
use
I was
it.
looking online, and there were no tutorials. Only like how to record yourself, playing games and record yourself while doing it. But
Yeah, but this is a little bit more of a complex
mm,
operation you're running here. So,
yeah. All right. So today we are going to talk about humor. So the theme of June was humor. And yeah, what do you say, Jason? Did you get any good pictures, or how did you approach this theme?
yeah, I got a few good pictures. I actually have a couple from the catalog that I've never actually put online that I threw in the mix. Humor is something that I think is like really cool in street photography. It's always people with more of an eye for the absurd
Mm.
that capture those kind of things. So one thing that I think about humor in street photography is that like it needs to be obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't explain humor. It's like comes out of desperation and some spontaneity to it. So when you see the image, it has to strike you immediately.
Mm.
And we went through the submissions today and we made some selects based off of that. At least I did for the selects that I made. Was it immediately obvious that there was some humor in these photographs?
Mm.
And we have an example actually right now that we could show you guys from a famous photographer, Elliot Erwitt, which is like a prime example of humor in street photography.
Yeah. Yeah, same for me. It has to be obvious, and sometimes the humor lies also in the details, right? So it's not always easy for me to define what a humorous picture is. Sometimes it's, if you immediately laugh, then
Mhm.
yeah, it might be a successful image, but I think it's difficult to get more than just the smile, and something more with more
Absolutely.
depth.
Sometimes, the funny thing is that it doesn't strike you until you go back to those photographs.
Mm.
Most of the times that I find humor in my images, it wasn't intentional. Sometimes I'm going back through and looking at the photos that I captured,
Yeah.
and I see something that I didn't notice before. It might be somebody in the background doing something completely absurd, or
Mm.
like something that the person's holding in the foreground, and it usually kind of like dawns on me later on that something was funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so.
So, how did you went out, and did you look for something funny, or how did you approach it when you were photographing, or did you just take pictures and then later decided what is humor or what is not?
Yeah, I think I kind of work in that respect all the
Yeah.
time. I think it's hard. I mean, some people it really helps to go out with a theme in mind, right? Like if you say something simple like, "Oh, today I'm going to go photograph red,"
Mm.
that can also hold you in a pattern where your trigger is a little constipated, and I don't like that feeling. So I try to shoot more like instinctually, and if something happens to rise to the top, then I got lucky. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But most times, the things that I find humorous, I find after the fact.
Yeah.
How about you?
It's basically the same, because um, I mean, sometimes I go out and I know it will be a fun day because maybe we have a parade or some event where everyone is in a good
Mhm.
mood, so there will be funny things happening. and I know I can easily capture them because you can. It's not easier to engage, you know, with the people or with your subject. But
it was definitely, I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. These,
I thought this would be easy, but
these themes are pretty difficult, but it's a good practice, right? Because like we're all challenging ourselves. Everybody in the chat room is challenging themselves to go out and find something, and all these things just train your eye a little bit more. I kind of want to share an example from an old post that I have that I never realized this was San Gennaro Festival 2 years ago. And I had posted this photo just because I thought it was funny. It was like this real tough Italian dude taking a picture. And it wasn't until the comments that I realized how funny this photo was, because there's a text behind him that says Cannoli World. I don't know if you can share my screen. Or maybe I should share my screen.
Did you put it in the Google Drive folder?
No, I didn't. Let me do that right now.
Too late, bro. We already started.
Damn, these guys are harsh, man.
So we are looking here at Jason's photographs.
Okay, so I'm not gonna put this one in that I was just talking about, but it's on my Instagram. We can show it another time or something like that.
I can go to your Instagram if you want.
Oh my God! I think I just downloaded my entire catalog. What the hell what just happened?
So is it an old one? How far should I scroll down?
Here, I'm gonna try and send you the link to it right now. It's keep scrolling for a second. Sorry, it's getting
sneaky
closer.
Instagram plug here. If you haven't checked out his Instagram. Shame on you.
If you haven't scrolled to the bottom of my Instagram, now is a great time. Keep going. You'll see it. It's an Italian guy with a giant cigar in his mouth. It's just after these photos in India.
Okay.
But this is just I just thought it was a good example that I thought it was already funny, but this text that was hidden in the back of right there in the center. You just patch it. Right
this
there
one?
in the middle. Yeah. I mean, this is San Gennaro Festival, and it's this Italian guy taking a selfie with a cigar, and somebody in the comments called out Cannoli World in the background. And like, you know, it isn't always obvious to us that our photos might be funny. So, so that's kind of part of the process, I think, is going back through and paying attention to the background. Because sometimes when you're shooting in the streets, you know, you're only paying attention to the subject, and you just, and something is there instinctually. Your eye and your senses are telling you that something is there, but like it's not till after the fact that you kind of realize that you got a gem of a photo. Yeah,
so why not start with your photographs then?
Okay.
So
go back.
Time to roast Jason.
Yeah, let's roast me. So I put 5 in here. Some of them are a little more obvious. I went for low-hanging fruit here, sexual humor.
So, should I open the first one? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, I see.
So
I see.
This is in Madison Square Park, which is pretty close to my house, and I was just watching these two gentlemen kind of watch someone perform some music, and this was obvious. You know what I mean? This is not something that I had to look back on and realize was funny.
And this is what we saw a lot with the submissions. Like juxtaposition was very common. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you really got to be searching to find something. Something like this that stands out, or something a little bit more elevated. I think you really got to train your eye to see those kinds of things.
So that's what you see when you're on the street.
Yes, I think everybody sees this pretty much, because a lot of the submissions had to do with, genitalia, I guess.
Christina in the chat is saying Pride Month, so it fits.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Okay.
So this is an example. I mean, we don't have to say much about this, but you know, this isn't about us. So we'll just go through ours real quick, and then we'll get to you guys. Again,
I see.
Some low-hanging fruit here. This guy, it's hot outside. Looks like he's staring off. This is also by the park, but I don't know. This is kind of like a gesture that a lot of men make. I feel like we constantly hold things in a way that's kind of a sexual gesture. Sometimes I notice I'll be sitting in a chair and I'm holding my camera the same way, and I'm like, well, maybe I should like strap this around my neck or something, or put it on the table. But it comes natural, so I thought this was kind of a funny moment.
Oh.
I mean, this is just ridiculous. No, this is just an expression, but this little girl looks like I don't really know what she saw, but I really love her expression, and she kind of held it there for a second.
Godzilla or some, you know, some monster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny to me because I have this thing in street photography where I feel like if you see something like this, if you don't respond to it within the first 10 seconds, then the gesture's usually gone. You ever notice that? Like you can catch somebody rubbing their eye, and just as you step into the photo, they move their hand, and it's like, what the hell? So I was kind of happy that I saw this and caught this little girl in this moment.
Yeah, I also like photographs where you don't see what is happening, but you see the reactions, and then you make up your own story, you know? So
yes, absolutely.
People are going crazy in the chat. Someone is saying, Pedro is saying street pervertography. Where's Bello when we need him? Okay, let's move on. Okay. So that's so you were focusing on like what did you say at the beginning? Like looking at
I mean, the absurdity, right? Like, this is kind of ridiculous. This guy's just obviously cleaning the streets. This is one of the older ones, but this guy's cleaning the streets, and I never really did anything with this photo because he kind of looks a little bit like a shooter, you know what I mean? Somebody, but he's holding this broom and this dustpan like a shotgun with the glasses and the hoodie.
Okay. I thought of something else, but I didn't really make the connection, but okay.
Yeah. It's not funny, but his body language.
It looks like he's holding a gun and with the sunglasses and everything.
Yeah, very serious dude, right?
Yeah, and this is like he has a serious look, but it makes it funny because it's not, you know, we make up our own story, but he's just cleaning the floor, wiping the floor, you know.
But maybe he's playing out a role. I mean, who holds a dustpan and a broom like that, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's another interesting one. I think I have one more.
I saw this one. I had a glance at your work and I saw this. I saw this kind of image. I saw quite a lot, like the steam coming out of hair, mostly gray hair. I never really saw. I don't see this in Germany, but in NYC you have this a lot, right? Steam coming out of.
You can see another one behind her in between these two subjects where it's so those are on the sewers, and then the steam just kind of rises out of there. And I saw her with her white hair. The sun was hitting her and going through that smoke, so it just like it landed perfectly. But again, this is a very popular composition. You know what I mean? It's it just has to line up. You see somebody with white hair, gray hair, and you just got to nail it. I ran for it, but I never used this photo. I don't typically love images that can be dated. So the Banana Republic, the McDonald's in the background, the Twix bites, and all the cars. Ideally, if I wasn't using a 35, I could have stepped in and aimed up a little bit to isolate her head, and then I would have loved this photo if I was tight on her. But I think there's too many things in this for me personally that dated. So
I think for me, what sells it to me is that her hair is blowing out a little bit because of the backlight, which makes the transition to the steam like seamlessly, you know. So in that case, you know, now because of that, it works really well. If you don't know what it is, you might, you know, think this is really her hair. So she's got the Marge Simpson going. Cool. So these are. You said you picked up some old photos as well. Did you not read the guidelines?
I know. But I didn't know how many we needed. You know what I mean? So I know you did 3. I should have just did 3. Those first 3 would have been fine. But
no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, because I was really not. My mind was this month. I had so much on my mind. Like we had the first German Street Photography Festival, and I had so many people visiting us, and I was shooting a video as well. So I was like not focusing on the theme. So, you know, maybe I would have done the same. But I got like 2 pictures. Did the stream stop?
Yeah, it says live stream cut out.
Shit.
Live stream offline. What? Oh wait, it's connecting again. It's reconnecting.
No, it's...
Yeah, we're back on.
Are you sure?
Yep. Are we back on? Oh yeah. Wolf Flannel says we're back.
But what happens later if we finish? Like, can I keep...
It seems to still be recording. It picked off right where we left off.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Okay. I mean, if the chat is still here, so then it means we can probably move on.
Yeah,
Wow.
none of the text disappeared.
Never had this happen before. I hope YouTube will save this stream, because I want to leave it on my channel. Okay. Yeah, but now we can move on. Okay, sorry guys, I don't know what happened, because my browser also did a quick restart. Okay, so now it's my turn, I guess.
Yes.
So I don't know where it cut off, but my last words were that I'm not like super happy with my pictures. So the first one would be this one. Is my... Let me quickly check if my... okay, it's still streaming. Yeah, so we had a street festival here and I wasn't really... I didn't plan to shoot there. I was recording some video and then I had my 10mm Canon lens on a camera that I am not going to reveal yet. But let's say I have a new camera. Yeah, so this is of course a post shot. They were posing for me, but this was kind of funny to see. I mean, who brings like a stuffed animal to a street festival? It was just like an open air concert and party situation. So I mean, maybe it fits, but I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of like her expression with the unicorn.
Yeah. They were walking towards me, and I was like taking a shot, and then she was like laughing because I did take the shot, and then she suddenly posed like that and kissed. I missed the kiss, but this is close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in your eyes, like in terms of like street humor photography, how do you feel like this fits in? Do you feel like you nailed it or what?
I mean, it's a picture where you smile, maybe. I mean, it shows people having fun, and you know they have their own kind of humor. But I wasn't really. I mean, that's it. You know, it's just like a nice, funny moment. But I would probably prefer to have something more unstaged, and yeah, I usually don't like to take post photographs.
Yeah.
And if people,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I like post photographs too, but I guess for me, when you think about the humor, I feel like it's more unknown. So the crossover is the staged, and then like those moments of just like, what the hell is going on in this photograph, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I took like 5 or 8 shots, I don't remember, but the other one, she was looking into the camera, and then for me that was, you know, not doing it. So at least she did something else than just posing for me. Yeah, I mean, that's all I can say. I was happy that I got at least something. And then I will move on to the next one. So I was out shooting with Bello at another street festival, and there was a big dance battle going on. And so this is the one. And so I didn't think much about it, but Bello said like, this is humor, this you have to use this, and I was like, yeah, I know. But I think he kind of was right, because I think the funny thing here is that he doesn't look like he has a good time, but he has this balloon, and you know everyone is laughing around him, and I just love his expression. It's kind of like, yeah, whatever, but
Yes, to me, this one nails it because the kid is like, I mean, almost everybody behind him is smiling too. And that's like, that's amazing. But it's like rare you see a kid holding a balloon looking this sad.
Yeah.
And he also kind of looks like an adult, like he's literally just over whatever is happening here.
Yeah. And you know what? There's a little Easter egg on the right corner. So if you understand German, it says like garbage or trash. And it kind of works because maybe he thinks this is all trash, you know? It's not funny at all. So.
Yeah. So what was this? What was he watching?
Yeah, there was a street battle, dance battle.
Oh, dance?
Street.
And there were seats for it? That's funny.
Yeah, they had a big, how do you call it? Like, where people can sit. Sit.
Yeah.
And there were just two guys dancing, and then the crowd decided, you know, who is going to win. And so that was, it was more interesting to look at the crowd than the actual performance of the dance. We got some shots of that too, but it's like just like a nice documentary shot of an event.
I really like this one. Christina also called out your head outline in the bottom center. Is that you?
The head? You mean
the shadow?
Oh yeah, that's I don't know if that's me. It looks like backlight, so it could be the shadow
it could be him, actually.
Yeah, I think it's him.
Yeah, that is him. Oh, interesting.
Anyway, so that's
I really like this one a lot.
That's it for me. I mean, I'm happy that I at least got like two that fit the theme. Yeah, because of course I have some juxtaposition shots, you know, that I did in the past that would probably fit also very well, but it's kind of, I didn't want to do any juxtaposition, you know. I knew that this is something that most of the people will do, so I tried to avoid that. But it's still fun. I enjoy juxtapositions. Okay, so now it's time for our picks.
Well, I want to remind you before you show everybody the picks we made. You didn't plug your.
Yeah, I will do it at the end. Yeah, I know. But
very important.
Yeah, I will do it at the end. Or maybe I will do it now because you already mentioned.
And we got 90 people watching. You
already mentioned. Yeah, I forgot to mention it in the beginning. So a little selfish plug here. I'm doing my first street photography workshop, which I'm very excited about. And it is going to happen in Japan, in Osaka and Tokyo. And I will do it with Ulysses Aoki. He will be my next OTSW contender. Really nice, amazing photographer. I like his style a lot, and he looks a lot on color. And our theme is making sense of chaos, because in Japan it's easy to be overwhelmed, because especially if you are new, if you've never been to Japan before, then you see all the lights, you know, the neon lights, and you tend to shoot everything, and then if you post them in a feed like on Instagram, everything looks the same, you know, and it's really hard for image to stand out because it's so noisy. So yeah, we will cover like how to deal with the noise, or maybe eliminate distraction, but also work with the distractions. Distractions, I mean. So sometimes it can work in your favor. So that's kind of the theme, but it is a basic street photography workshop. So beginners are welcome, but also advanced shooters. And originally our early bird prices are going to end tomorrow, but we will extend it until Friday. So if you want to join us, I have a link in the description. And we have limited seats, of course, like always. So Osaka's already booked out. I didn't expect that, but Tokyo, we still have some places left, and Tokyo will be a 2-day workshop, and we actually got a really nice photo studio space. So we also do. Dude,
that's awesome, man.
I'm really happy.
I wish I could make it. Damn.
So we will do some editing too, and so 2-day workshop in Tokyo and 1 day in Osaka. yeah, so check it out in the link in the description, and let's move on. So I got that. Cool. So yeah, this is not our selection, but here we are. Okay, we will start from the beginning and then tell you guys why we select them. If you don't see your picture here, don't worry. We also made a folder for honorable mentions. Yeah, let's start with this one.
Sweet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, do you want to start?
Sure. So this photo was Alessandro. I think we said we should tell people the last chat. We said to upload the photo with the name of your handle so that people can check your Instagram. Yeah, right. But I guess some people didn't do that. It would have been smart if you did, so that, you know, if somebody likes your work, they can go check it out. I really like this photo because obviously it has the humor in it. Yeah. The couple looking at each other, and I mean, not only is there humor, but the technical ability here. This is like almost lined up perfectly. The way the collar hits the jacket, I mean, this is it's a solid photo. So that's part of the reason why I chose this photo. I went through and kind of made the selection. Me and Samuel went over and decided what should be a part of it and what shouldn't. But I think this is a great moment.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have much to say because for me, yeah, it's executed very well. Maybe I would love to see a little bit more story, because it's kind of just a nice juxtaposition, and there's not much interaction going on. So this is just maybe a little bit I would love to see more of. Yeah, but the execution is very, very well done.
I also really like that. I'm assuming that that's the wife. I don't know, a friend or whatever. The woman is. It looks like she's actually looking at the painting.
Yeah, it kind of. Yeah, you're right.
It's really solid. Great execution. So this is one of the selects for sure.
Cool. Moving on. So this one, I also saw this, and it's not a picture where you are like breaking out into laughter, but I think it's a very charming and moment that I personally can also relate to this, like working at a job where you probably spend most of the time inside an office. So for me, I kind of like this because it's like the opposite of that. It's like, you know, let me go out and just lay on the grass and enjoy the sun. But he looks like he just came out of the office. So for me, it's like a really nice moment here.
Yeah, I dig it. I also like it because, I mean, it's repetitive. If you look at the shadows and the placement of the subjects and the light, and they're almost wearing the identical clothing. You know what I mean? Like this guy in the background has a blue shirt on. This guy's with the suit. And they're kind of sleeping on their stuff the same way, but you would assume somebody would go in the shade. So maybe they fell asleep earlier and the shade has shifted, so they're probably going to wake up with a little bit of a sunburn. But it does look like we're looking at clones, and I kind of love that. I love that a lot. Yeah. So
that's a nice bonus plus.
Yeah. And again, you know, humor doesn't always have to be people laugh out loud, right? It's more about an eye for things that are out of place. So it could just be like a bent, you know, some symmetry, like 3 street signs, and one of them's bent in a weird way that's like a little phallic. You know what I mean? It's just calling out the things that are kind of off. And I think this is interesting to see 2 people in suits essentially taking a nap in the park.
Yeah, really nice. Let's move on.
But nobody titled this photo, so...
Yeah, maybe he or she is in the chat, so you can always post your Instagram handle. So Joseph asked, how can we send photos? So the submissions are closed now because we already started. But there is a link. I think there's a link in my description. Probably not. But I will post the link later when we finish. Or go to my website under projects and then Street Critique. There you can upload. But it's too late now, unfortunately. So this one is probably shot in Japan. There's no name again. I think you picked this one.
Tokyo Metro DT.
Yeah. Maybe you start?
Yeah, I also put this one in. I mean, this is, again, I keep using the word and leaning into it, absurdity, because it is kind of ridiculous. And these are the moments that, you pay attention to on another level and catch them. I mean, it's obvious what it looks like he's doing, but to see an officer or someone like this in such a vulnerable pose is amazing.
Yeah. I'm wondering what he was doing. It's weird.
It looks like he's just stretching, right? But like,
Oh, yeah.
that's the great thing. It does make you ask some questions, right? You're like,
Yeah.
what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, right. He's probably, probably has to stand the whole day and then needs to do some stretching. Okay.
So I definitely, I dug that one a lot.
Yep. So next one is from Andrew.
Gutierrez. What's up, Andrew Gutierrez?
So, yeah, it's... How can we describe this? This is kind of like a moment that we all can relate to. Like, I was one of these two guys in my lifetime, at least once. And, yeah, for me it's... I don't know, I think you also... I mean, I think you picked it, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, so the idea was to not go over 3 hours this time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like we've been doing. So the idea is to not show every single submission.
Yeah.
So to let you guys know how we did it, we went into the submissions folder and we made a selects folder with all the ones that we thought kind of nailed the humor and the absurdity. And then we picked all of those. And then we did a folder full of honorable mentions that almost got there, but didn't quite nail it. So we'll probably end up spending a little bit more time on those because there's more to critique. But these are just like really good examples of humor and absurdity in photographs because their body language, obviously this guy's drunk, but also the technical ability of catching these repetitive movements is also really, really great. So I love this photo a lot because the composition is nice, but these guys are also mimicking each other's movement, which is even better.
Yeah, very elegant leg stand.
Yeah.
It's almost like the guy on the right, is humping the other one.
Yeah. They're dancing maybe, like they're in like on stage.
If the guy on the left was going to fall over, the other guy would probably land on a not so ideal position.
Yeah, the legs are great. Yeah, Christina, the legs, they look amazing.
Yeah, I love that too.
Solid photograph, another great example.
Yeah. When I saw this one, I was smiling immediately because it's just a funny moment. Like it's probably the priest.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
Is he? If you really look close, he might be tired and has his eyes closed, but it also kind of looks like he's checking out, I don't know, her bag.
Yeah.
So that's kind of no.
Yeah. It looks like he's kind of like, damn, girl. He's like taking a moment, like he had to pray on it for a second.
Well, he's asking for forgiveness. That's why he's standing there.
Yeah. But again, I love this photo because, like, obviously he's not looking at her butt, but you define what it is happening in these moments, right? Like it's up to us to create that perception. So to craft this in a way that it looks like what we're assuming it is, that's brilliant. You know what I mean? That's also a way to train your eye for humor because you could shoot this from a different angle and it just wouldn't work, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So even if this was like a little slightly to the left, it would just be a completely different photograph. Yeah. So I dig this.
Yeah, everyone in the chat is also digging this.
Yeah, he's checking her out.
Holy booty.
Holy booty.
You know what? Actually, the shapes in the background on the marmor or the wall. Kind of also, the round shape is also suggesting like a booty.
Oh,
I don't know.
The hourglass shape, yeah.
Yeah, really funny.
The skirt is too short.
At least he's interested in women, right?
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, man.
This skirt is too short. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, another great example.
Okay. Let's move on.
Jerry Orkin, great photo.
Next is from Hendrix.
Hmm.
Yeah, another funny juxtaposition. I wasn't sure about this. I was like, yeah, it's funny. It's a lovely moment again.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't much to say about this. It's great timing.
Yeah.
And I think street photography is all about timing, especially with humor. So I'm impartial to these type of photographs where like you see it and you just snap it, because this is a moving vehicle, probably one of those tour buses, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm getting the response time here, and like the old lady. It could have been anybody standing up there, but like the fact that it's an elderly woman lined up with these young legs makes it even better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, not much to say, but I do like the colors as well. The pink, the yellow, the greens, the blues.
Yeah.
They all kind of line up nicely, and the composition is pretty good. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, maybe this bus was, driving, then it's really hard to do stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you only have a moment with these type of frames, you know,
Yeah.
like the last one, you know, you can't really sit there and observe the priest and the old lady for too long, or this one, you kind of just got to react. And I think that's when you look back at those photographs and you go, holy shit, I nailed it.
How do you think about advertisings like this? Because for me, this also looks like the creators of this advertisement, they intended this to be like this, that someone is sitting there and then it will align with the advertisement. So
yeah, that's very cool.
it's like, this picture of I think it's some airport with a skateboard, like drawing on what is it called? It's something that a lot of people shot. Like there's just the legs and a skateboard, and then behind that there's always a dude, and then it looks like he's skating.
Oh yeah, people line that up.
Yeah.
I guess I never really thought about that. How those photographs, those advertisements are intended for that type of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I always feel like it's kind of too easy and cheap, to do that, because it's kind of expected that you do it,
True.
But I mean, it still works here. But my feeling is that this was, intended for this purpose, to see that and then get the attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that could be another topic, billboards and stuff like that. So let's move on. This is a really, really obvious one. I was like, oh, I get it, and then I was like smiling.
Yeah.
But for me, yeah. Go on.
Yeah, I still think it's super obvious, but I did think it was a good example, and I do like the lines and the way they cleaned up this frame. It's not too distracting. The guy pops out. This might even, no, I like this frame. I think it's a good example, you know what I mean, of the humor, and it's as obvious as it is. It's not, what's the word I'm looking for here? I mean, it is pretty obvious, but I thought it was solid.
Yeah, my feeling is a little bit that this person saw the sign and was like, oh, I can cut off people's head here and then it will work, right? So he was waiting, or she was waiting, and then someone came and then he took maybe one shot or maybe two.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's more potential. Like maybe, someone hitting his head, or something else. Because yeah, I mean, there are very good examples of situations like this, where the story is also obvious, but it is so absurd that this happened that it makes it really unique, And here I feel like everyone who knows this spot can go to the spot and create the same image,
True, very true. This is not a unique moment. Yeah. So on the lower end of the spectrum, but an example of humor in street photography.
let's move on. So I have to say here that I showed all of the submissions to my wife, and she had to laugh out really loud at this one. the other ones, she was like, no, it's not funny. What is this shit? And but this one here, she really liked it, and that shows that it has to be easy to understand, or maybe it has to click instantly, or it is not really captivating, or there's something missing, right? But this one, everyone can understand it. It's, you know.
Yeah, this is as obvious as it gets, but also a great execution because it's all about timing and observing, right? So it's not something that people can. I mean, maybe they can recreate it if they go and find someone pumping gas, or I don't know if this is like one of those oil vats, but it's you're being real observant to grab something like this. This is something that I might have walked by. I probably wouldn't have been paying attention to, but I commend who is it? Mataro. I wonder if they're in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is actually reloading, says Tito Vega. Okay, I see. Yep. Yeah, I was checking if the stream is still live.
Yeah, I got it open on the right side.
Good.
So if anything happens, I'll let you know.
Okay. Shall we move on to the next?
Yep.
So, you start.
Well, I like the composition of this frame because it's always kind of interesting to me when you have to ask questions about what the hell's going on here. But I don't know about you guys, but growing up, Ace Ventura was a big favorite movie of mine and most kids my age. And he's kind of doing the whole Jim Carrey thing here, talking through his butt. And he's perfectly in the light here, as you see the composition, the shadows from the trees kind of pulling on the outsides of the frame. And everybody, even there's a kid in the middle, is all turned away. So it kind of makes you wonder. Again, I feel like we create the story. You know, a lot of times people say, oh, you try to be honest with your photographs and you kind of show the truth. But this type of photography, when you're aiming for humor, it's not necessarily about the truth. It's about creating like a mystique or some mystery to the frame. And I think the fact that this kid is just doing this when everyone's back is turned is what makes this so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. Yeah, I have lots of questions when I see this.
Yeah.
It's like, what is he doing? Is his butt itchy, or what is? Did the ball came out of his? I mean.
Yeah. Right. I dig that, but again, you know, if he took a couple steps back and we saw some people behind him, it might not be as funny because maybe there's another kid that he's just kind of like, you know, mooning or doing something retarded to. But like this particular framing makes you ask those questions.
Yeah. I also like that no one is noticing him, you know? No one is looking at him. And it's like everyone is missing it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's move on.
I put this one in here as well. This is an interesting one for me because one, it's like you probably, I mean, this is like somebody sitting next to their family because it's such a close shot, right? But there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get something humorous even with your family. And I like the idea of all the hands and the directions that they're moving in. And the man feeding the wife, but the baby's kind of being neglected here. Yeah. So I found this to be like a good example of humor in street photography. I probably would have liked this a little bit better if it wasn't so close and it wasn't obvious that it was a family, but I still really dig it. Yeah,
I also like the fact that the kid is neglected here, and he kind of looks at his mom like, hey, what up? Why not me first? You know? I also would love to see her a little bit more, or even you know, the full table.
But it is interesting when you think about it. The husband feeding the wife feeding the baby. This circle, you
Yeah.
know, this line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah. It could be a statement for family
Yeah,
structure, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
He's like feeding his family,
His
but
little dog is under the table.
yeah, he's providing and she's like feeding the kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on.
I think there's only a couple left in this
Yeah.
selection, so.
Yeah. I mean, this one, I think it's like the perfect postcard, you know, picture. It's like it could really work well for like a funny postcard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for truckers.
maybe with a little with some text to it, like I don't know.
See the world, see the country, or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I like it. I like the idea of seeing somebody that you would perceive as like rough
Yeah,
and manly that rides around in trucks, kind of sunbathing and reading a book, right? It kind of breaks down a certain stereotype, and I find that humorous. When I first looked at the photo, I thought he had ice cream in his hand, so that kind of it made me chuckle a little bit. This like big burly truck driver pulls over for a little tan in a book.
Yeah, what I really like about this image is that he didn't move far away from his truck. You know, it's like he has no time. No, he just has like 30 minutes, and then he wants to get some sunlight or relax. But this is all he gets, you know. And then he has to move on.
Or he's such an intimate relationship with his truck. It's like this is his baby. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna take a break, I'm taking it with my baby here. So.
Yeah, it also reminds me kind of Breaking Bad. You know, we never know what's happening inside. You know, maybe he had a rough day and he needs some relaxing time.
A little meth is brewing.
And
but I thought this was great.
It looks like he has a headset on, or what is this thing behind his head? It looks like a headset.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
So he could be in the middle of, you know, getting orders, or I don't know. Yeah, I think nicely seen.
Good example.
And good execution. I don't like this pole here in the background. It's just a little detail, but the rest is...
Yeah, so guys, Photoshop pulls out of the background. Yeah. Photoshop your street images. But yeah, no, I really dig it.
Okay. This was the last one, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So these were all our picks. Like all the images that work really well. And now we have a few honorable mentions. These are like semi-successful executions. Like there are a few that, you know, could be better and but are very close, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is the first one. You start.
So I mean, originally I liked this photo. I thought this was going to be like a top pick. I almost put it in the selects, but I don't know. Looking at it a little bit more, it feels a little cramped. It's not so clear. Maybe it's the editing on it or the warmth of it, but I do like this photograph. I just feel like it didn't stand out as much as it needed to amongst the others. But I do love the dog. It's cute. I don't know if it's like humorous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's absurd enough. It's kind of just a dog peeing, but he's looking at the camera, and I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, the dog is kind of funny, and looking at the fur scarf, or I don't know if it's the whole jacket, it made me think of the relationship to the dog and the fur. Maybe there's something going on there, but it wasn't obvious. So I think the dog, he's like pissing onto the wall, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can use. She is like what's putting me off a little bit. It's like...
Because she doesn't really matter in the front. You know, if it was the owner kind of on their phone or so, I don't know, something else,
Yeah.
some type of other interaction with this
Yeah.
dog, or in the background, it would have brought it together a little bit more.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Okay.
almost there, but not quite.
Yeah. Funny dog, not so funny foreground.
Cute dog.
Cute dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always works. So next one, I really was like, wow, this is,
It's a beautiful,
yeah, this is
beautiful photo.
beautiful. It's like, where is this? It's like,
Yeah.
it looks like a
And
drawing.
the editing is perfect on it. Like the black and white is so gorgeous. The tonality in the grays is
Yeah.
beautiful. The highlights. I love everything about this photo, but it's just not humorous
Yeah.
to me. I mean, the guy's laying on the floor flying his kite. It's lazy, but I don't think it's not absurd
It's
enough.
like a,
It doesn't really
yeah,
fit
it's
there.
like a really dreamy scene. I
Yes.
really, you know, for me, I want to run not naked but barefoot, you know, through all the. It looks like a really.
It's a beautiful place. I want to sit down there in the grass with him, like, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I really love this one, but as you said, it's not fitting the theme. So.
Yeah. I think this one is Gabriel Cruz.
Yeah.
Gabriel Cruz.
Are you in the chat, Mr. Cruz? Probably not.
It's not. I guess not.
Yeah. If you are, post your Instagram. I would love to see more of your work.
Yeah. Great edit, by the way. I just want to say that again. Something about it has this 3D quality to
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Okay, next. This could be Germany. I don't know. I think this is very nice. I would probably put this in the select folder. So maybe you have to explain why it didn't work for you, because I think this is very, very, very funny, because this is like the typical hobby photographer, you know, that's on a vacation and, you know, shooting like flowers and stuff.
Anything to get the
Yeah,
shot,
and
right?
it's funny that he's like right on top of the flowers, you know, he's
Yeah. No, I almost put this in the select folder, but I started thinking about who this is funny to, right? Like, maybe it's only funny to street photographers.
Yeah.
The way this guy's up on the flowers like that. But I do love everything else about it. The composition, the colors are really nice. This could be film, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it should have went in the selects folders. It is pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm not so happy with the background on the red tent. Is kind of distracting. I would probably prefer to have him more on the left side, and then maybe see the whole
all
the
flowers.
flowers, and just this boring background probably helps isolating like him and the flowers more.
Though I think I do like the negative space on the ground, seeing that gravel, you know? Yeah.
You mean on the left side? Yeah.
On the left side, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it makes it a little more ridiculous that he climbed in there,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're
like,
right.
what is he in there?
Yeah, exactly, because then it suggests that he should stand on the left side, you know, not so close. Yeah.
Okay, so I messed up. This should have been in the selects.
Okay, next one.
Who is this? Ignacio Perez.
Oh, I know him. I think we follow each other on Instagram. Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be here right now.
Yeah, but definitely check him out. He does a lot of great work. Cool, let's move on. So next is from Dedrick Wright. He is probably in the chat. I see some.
Oh, yeah. Mr. D. Wright.
Yeah. Let's see. All you can eat, Dick. I guess I get it now. Yeah, I can see this working. But it's too beautiful for me. It's like the text alone is funny. Like you make the connection. The rest is maybe the pole and the plastic bag is kind of suggesting something sexual, you know. It's kind of works, but the rest is too pretty for me. It's
well, I wanted to put this in, but you know, it is a sign and there's text, so you don't really have to work that hard to get this image. You know what I mean? Like the text is already there. Maybe it's a layer. Actually, it looks like one sign is a little bit ahead of the all-you-can-eat one, so obviously they're not together. But I think subject selection, waiting there a little bit longer to get somebody doing something that works with these words would have been great. Obviously you can't predict what's going to happen, but somebody walking by eating a banana or drinking a bottle of water that looks phallic or anything like that, I don't feel like this woman lends herself to the text at all. So that's kind of why I thought this was close, but not fully there. And sometimes you don't get it, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can wait there for 2 hours and you don't get somebody that walks by doing something that lends itself to this frame, but that's the nature of the game. So sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, definitely there's more potential, I think, here. But good eye. Good that you saw that, because
I think it's a solid frame. The colors, the light, everything works. It's just the subject and the text, something needs to get married there.
Okay, moving on. So this is from Kyla Casey. You picked this one, probably?
Well, yeah, I put it in there because, these two guys, they're old best of friends, you know what I mean? A little odd couple. He's got this cart with a flat tire.
Oh, yeah. It's a nice detail.
Which is really interesting. But I don't think the composition or the frame doesn't have enough technical ability to make this work.
Yeah, if it's all about them, then the guy in the background is distracting a bit.
Yes.
And the guy on the right also doesn't add much to it.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably not that fast because of the flat tire. So when I see stuff like that, I would suggest to follow them, you know, to see where they're going.
Work it just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because there's so many techniques you can apply here to get this type of photo and isolate these guys a little bit more, because there's so much going on. Even just to raise the camera over your head and shoot down at them, just so you're getting that like concrete. If there's no way to clean this up, would have been kind of cool. Because I don't know, if it was more focused on them, I think I would have definitely made this a select.
Yeah, me too. So. Okay, next. This is the title should be like buff guy and soft
little dog.
You know, it's like opposites. I think it's a very lovely moment, like
Zio Pepino. I think it's a great moment. I think it's a little too obvious, right?
Yeah, I want to know more about him, you know. Where is he going, and is this really his dog? What does his relationship look like, you know, to his pet? Because now he's just holding it. But it would be so cool to have like a day in the life of this guy, you know?
Yeah. I might just be impartial because I'm a big guy with a little dog. So people often come up to me and ask me if that's my dog. So I guess for me, this, again, it was kind of like low-hanging fruit. I like it. I think it's interesting because this guy's really doing the tough guy look, and the dog is just kind of feeling real safe in his arms. But I feel like anybody would have saw this moment and snapped it. Yeah.
All right. So, nice subject. But yeah, I would love to see more of the relationship of them. Okay. So, booty shot again.
Yeah.
What I like here is that he is like going into the void, you know, he's like, we don't see the rest of his body. It could be like an endless hole, like we don't know where it goes.
endless anuses. It's what it kind of looks.
Oh man, this episode
Yeah.
is dirty. Yeah, but the fence behind him is kind of what makes this not working for me at least.
Yeah, I guess if the fence wasn't there, it would have been a little bit cleaner. But I gotta say, I do love this frame, the composition, the colors, the white, the browns.
Yeah.
I like how flat it is. There's so much going on. There's so many lines. I really like it. It's pleasing to look at. You can stare at it
Yeah.
for a while, and that's not because of the butt. But it's I like it. I really like this frame. I just didn't find it that humorous, I guess. It's just a cool frame. By Martin D'Angelo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool spot. Definitely, you can do some very clean compositions here, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Do we have more? Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one I also really liked. I think you selected this, but I also really like this because it's kind of surreal. I like the lines and that his head is like missing and just the shape. Like we know it's a bird, but I don't know. I think this is very interesting, but I can't really see the humor. So that's
yeah, it's definitely the bird's head missing. Is where it lies. But again, it feels like it's almost there, but it's not quite there. But I do just love the frame. I like the edit on it. I like the tonality. It feels like one of those old school frames that I don't know.
Yeah.
Greats would have taken. It just has that old vintage energy to it. But it's almost there. I don't know what could have made this more humorous, but still great. Still a great photograph.
Yup.
And the last one.
Oh, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I find this just cute. I wasn't funny to me, or I didn't see the humor. It's like,
Yeah.
do you have? I don't know. Do you?
Diego Torres. I mean, I think again this is almost there, but it's not fully there. If the baby was interacting in some way or trying to get away and being stopped by the parent, would have been the humor.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I kind of put this in the honorable mentions because it is almost there. It didn't fully get there for me.
Yeah.
Like if the monkey was kind of like pulling and being slid away, that'd be a really interesting frame. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think this was a difficult one for everyone. It's because you only have 1 month, right, to find something humorous.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I kind of lost my thought. Yeah, we are at the end, and we will not do the same thing as last time again to go through all of them because we can. So here are the rest that we didn't pick. Doesn't mean that they suck. It's just that they don't work with the theme. Like this one here, it's kind of cute, but it's like, you know, it's like I can do this with my cat and then post it, and you know, or you know, some like this had potential, like this one. I also
definitely had potential, but
you know, because it looks like a butt. So
there's a lot of good submissions there, but I do think we just need to force ourselves to try just a little bit harder and think about how easy it is for someone else to get that image when you shoot. You know what I mean? Like, I think that kind of separates it from the mundane, where it's like, is this a moment that I'm capturing, or is this something that's kind of set up and just going to be here forever?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So.
Yeah. But it was fun, definitely made us smile. So thanks for all who submitted. So we will do this always like this from now on? Like we will select our favorites and then just go through the ones that work and then maybe the ones that were close. So that way we can keep it under 2 hours. And how are we doing time-wise? 1 hour and 7 minutes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's 1 hour.
We can end early this time.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe it.
So yeah, now the question is, what do you want to see next? What should we do for July?
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Anybody
Any
got some suggestions in the chat?
Now's the time. I'm thinking of something related to summer, because probably most of you will go on a vacation, or you know, summer is starting, so maybe something to do with summer. But yeah, give us your suggestions.
If anybody wants to give a suggestion. We could do something related to summertime. Do you have any ideas? Because this happened last time, and then we settled on humor.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody's really given us eat. Somebody wrote eat.
Yeah.
Street portraits. Ooh, street portraits is kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice. Force people to get out there and talk to someone and ask them for a photograph. I kind of really dig that.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, it's been a while since I did street portraits.
I know. I don't force myself to do that much either, and I've been kind of wanting to get outside and shoot this medium format with some street portraits. So that might be the perfect excuse to do that.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. What do you guys think? Should we do street portraits? Yes or no? What else do we have? Please not fireworks. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of hard. And fireworks. I mean, you can do street shots with fireworks, but what if you don't have any fireworks in your area, you know, then
you gotta make some. Abstraction. Not what I meant. But okay. Oh, I guess Brent street portraits. I think he's single emotion. A summer single emotion. I think street portraits is better. He's too shy. He says to do street portraits.
That's the whole point.
But this is perfect. Yeah. That's the point. Yeah.
You know, when I was studying graphic design, I had a photography class, and we had to go outside and take 10 portraits of strangers. And this was before I was doing street photography. And it really made me, you know, push myself to do it, because I never done it before that. And I got 10 shots. So it's not that hard. It's like,
it's not that hard.
You do 2 or 3 and then it's like really easy.
Yeah, and you know, the worst thing that can happen is people say no, but you should be challenging yourself, even if it's not your style. Yeah. When I go out and shoot with people that have never asked for a portrait, I always try to make them go out and ask someone for a portrait. You know what I mean? And it could just be anybody, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be an interesting subject, because sometimes that's a little more difficult when you see someone that you really care about. But start off asking for easy portraits, right? Go approach an old lady and just be like, hey, can I get your photograph? And then keep building. Those yeses will build your confidence and encourage you to ask people that might be a little bit tougher. Yeah. And one thing that I have to suggest, because someone asked me this question before, is like, how do I ask people for a portrait? Know why you want it before you approach them, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask you why you want a photograph of them. And if you don't have something good to say, something honest, they're going to say no to you. You know what I mean? So do yourself a favor, walk around for a little bit, look at people, and imagine yourself explaining to them why you want that photo. You can say, oh, your hat looks lovely. I really like your makeup. Your outfit is great. Oh, you look like an actor. Whatever it might be, run that through your head a little bit before you start approaching people, because you're going to get caught off your toes if someone says, my photo, why? And you have nothing to say.
Yeah.
So it's good practice.
That's also good advice for street photography in general. If you don't know why you are doing it, you know, you will have a hard time explaining yourself. It's always good to have to know why you are doing it. Even if it's just for you to practice, you can always say like, I'm doing street photography, I'm trying to capture like candid moments, and then
Yeah. Also, another way to think about it is for some weird reason, I think with people in the streets, if somebody were paying you, if you were to work for the New York Times and somebody was paying you a salary to go out and get these photographs, for some weird reason, the idea of duty empowers us to go and get what we want. You know what I mean? But when it's for us, we kind of shy away. So I think it'd be really interesting to imagine that this is your job, this is your work. You know what I mean? Take it seriously and just force yourself to go do it. Because if somebody was paying you to do it, you'd probably do it. So
and you will definitely get better at it, and it will boost your confidence in just interacting with people on the street. And I think this is just a good training in general for street photography, not only portraits, but doing street portraits probably helps you feeling more confident on the street, because you can interact with strangers. And I think lots of people struggle just to be open about what they're doing. And because it's, if you can talk to people and be friendly and they accept you, it's the best feeling. It's like, it's you don't want to be a creep, right? But if you think like, oh, maybe I'm a creep by doing that, you will come off being a creep, even if you don't want it.
Yeah.
But if you're like,
and that usually is because you want something from someone, right? And I think the way to fix that, because sometimes I do that when I've gone outside with this this camera makes me so uncomfortable, and like I can't shoot with it. I go outside and I shoot with portraits of it, but when I get outside, I feel like the intention to get a portrait is so strong that I've started to like counteract that by just going out and being like, you know what? I'm just gonna have a conversation with people, and I'm not gonna ask for a portrait, but get into random conversations. You know what I mean? Sometimes people see me with my camera and they go, oh, they say something to me, and instead of just like saying something and keeping it moving, I stop and I have a conversation, and then I go, hey, can I take your portrait? You know what I mean? The need to not want something, I think people can smell that a mile away, and it makes people uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable when I want something, you know what I mean?
If you don't have a generous interest, like if you're not, if you are only out there to get someone's picture and you don't care much about the person, it will be harder to get the photograph, right? Have a basic interest in people, like, just ask them like, how was your day? And it can be just small talk, but if you don't show any interest and it's all about you taking the shot, people will not be easily they are not willing then to give it to you, because they give you a photograph of them, so that's a very private thing,
very private, it's very intimate. They want you to be genuine.
So it's all about gaining trust, and it helps if you do this and have a portfolio like your Instagram feed, and maybe you have street portraits, then makes it easier to gain trust. But I mean, the challenge is that we do it even if we don't do portraits, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I'm into it. I think
I really want to do it, but I don't know how people feel about that.
Oh, okay. So Jay asked in the chat room, Jay Cubit, it's definitely asking no candid portraits. We need to ask people and pose people and get a real portrait from them in the streets, right?
So no 200 millimeter from the other side of the street.
No 200 millimeters. I'm into it.
That's good, because when I'm in Japan, I will shoot manual focus only. I've made this a little challenge for myself. So
Really? What's this about? Please explain.
No, I will do a video about it, explaining it in more detail.
Okay. So you got a new camera that we don't know about yet.
We will see.
Can I guess what it is?
You can, but I will not react to that.
I can't believe you got a Canon EOS R.
No. No Canon.
Just checking.
No, but I just want to shoot manually using zone focusing or just manual focus. You will see why. It has.
Okay, I'm interested. I'll be watching.
That's why I think portraits is good for me, because I have to slow down anyway. So, and the camera's kind of big compared to what I used to use. So, I can't hide anymore. So that's why, for me, I think this would be a perfect challenge. So what do you guys think? Should we do street portraits? I mean, Jason and I are already into it. Let's get at least 3 yeses and we do it.
Yeah.
No.
It seems people are pretty into it. Everybody seems pretty jazzed, right?
Now people are guessing
we're
the
on
camera.
Play, so we ask a question, it usually takes a takes a second.
Yeah, so 3 yeses.
Everybody thinks you got a Leica.
Nah.
I love that street critique photo of me. You have me holding the Leica.
Of course, man. The thumbnail is important.
Yeah, it's good representation. No candid portraits, Sammy.
Yeah, candid portraits, we can do it another time. Yeah.
Yeah, another time we'll do candid portraits. But is that a portrait? Is a candid portrait a portrait?
If it's only about the person, I think it does.
I feel like a portrait is... the person has to acknowledge that they're in the photo for it to be... I mean, this is a great debate. We could get into this forever, but like I'm sure people have talked about this for a while. Because if you're doing random street photography, then everything is a portrait if the person is isolated in the photo, right?
Okay.
So
we got more than 3 yeses, so the theme of July will be street portraits. So get ready to be uncomfortable.
Oh, and did you say that we might skip a month? Just to be clear, they might want to know that.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I have good internet connection in Japan, because my laptop that I'm going to bring has a really shitty Wi-Fi card, so my connection is, it disconnects a lot. So I'm not sure if I can do a stream, but I will let everyone know. If not, we will do it end of August.
Okay.
But let's say we do it end of July. And if I can't do it, then, we'll do it another time. Or maybe I do it with my phone. I don't know. We will find a way. Yeah. So I will... Okay, so I will update my website with the new theme. Give me until tomorrow. Or maybe... I mean, it's already like almost midnight here. I might put out a post in an hour or so. But if you want to be up to date, just check my website under projects, Street Critique, tomorrow. Or here under this video, I will post a link to that.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right.
All right, it's been real.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
1 hour and 20 minutes, a new record.
Amazing. New record.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining. I think at one point we had about 100 people in here watching, so that's so good. And I promise Jay is in the chat. He's one of my subscribers. He probably subscribed to you as well, but he's an incredibly supportive person. I love him.
I agree with him. More videos.
Yeah, I'm doing my best.
Yeah, man. It's hard work, right?
It's very hard. I mean, I'm learning it as I go, dude. I did a Capture One tutorial the other day.
Yeah. I don't use Capture One, but I watched it and I enjoyed seeing your process. Yeah.
Yeah, but those are hard videos to make. So every time I make one, I learn something new. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Well, I guess on that note, we'll see all these guys soon.
Yeah, we see everyone at the end of July. And do I have to plug one more thing? Oh yeah, quickly plugging my Patreon account here, because I'm doing monthly Q&As and I will do them not live but offline, and the next one I will do in Japan. And I'm also going to post some raw footage, or my last vlog was kind of raw footage and edited clips together, and I will do that more in Japan as well. And of course I will also post them on my channel. But yeah, gotta plug everything before I leave, right?
Yeah, sure. Somebody just asked if I had a channel.
Oh yeah.
I guess I'm not clear here. But
that's an insult. You don't know who Stock Easy is?
That's funny. That's okay.
No. Yeah, I should link your. I know that I can link your channel at the end of this video, like in the outro, you know, at the end cut.
Sure, or just put it in the description,
Yeah.
I guess.
So you will find it there, and if not, just look up Stock Easy on Instagram, on YouTube and Instagram.
Sweet.
All right.
Thanks.
Then
Peace, guys.
have a good night or morning. See you next time. Bye bye.